first of all, please introduce yourself to the people.
Well, that's Splendid sound, the strongest sister spirit, the sound from the Eastern Europe, the eastern parts. That's we.
How would you describe the current state of European sound clashes in Europe?
I'd say it's dying, but it's fighting for its life, you know what I mean? It's still, we get less and less sound clash, less and less sounds that clash. So I guess that's the problem right now, that a lot of people are, you know, dissatisfied with the state of the business, but you still got a lot of energy among some of the promoters to push it, you know. It's the clash that you do, the Chamber of Dead is, what you call it, the clash in Padova that Bombchilom does, wars in the area, right? Yeah, we have the Deadly Mountains clash, so it's still coming up. There's still a few dedicated sounds. My problem is that there is no sounds that are like 10 years and less that step in the arena, but yeah, there is enough reasons for that.
Yeah, a lot of people say like the new blood is missing.
It's missing, but I mean that's both in the massive and among the sounds. Like, you know, we also play for the people that are 30 plus, let's say, in general, right? So that's a problem, because in the juggling I can see the new blood kind of flowing in, you know. There's people, and from what I hear, they're like 16, even 18, 20 that come to our parties. But for the clash, yeah, it's the old man's thing, you know.
True. Okay, let's come to the Chamber of Death promotion. What was your first thought when you heard about King Animosity versus Ma Gash?
No, I thought that it's gonna be the clash of expensive dub plates. You know what I mean? We're heading to. I mean, you know, the Gully Marathon on one hand, and then you have King Animosity with all of them cartels. I mean, they got everything, but they spend like probably, you know, the value of a house in New York on the cartel dubs as well. You know, so one of the real estates, like one of the houses that cartel has, is probably funded by King Animosity themselves only. So I think that musically it's gonna be nice, you know. I really rate, especially Ma Gash, I'll be honest, I'm not that big fan of King Animosity, but I appreciate what they're doing. So it's really, for a sound like this to cross over from, let's say, outside of the core of American sounds, like New York sounds, because they're not even a New York sound, right?
Yeah, they're Atlanta.
From, yeah. So it's good to have something fresh cross over the pond, you know.
Very nice. Yeah, I guess it's always a big step for the American sounds to touch on in Europe.
Yeah. I mean, for every sound, you know, if you cross to another continent, that means you kind of made it, in the sense that you made it into the conscience of people in another continent, because of course we have the dinosaurs that, you know, shape our vision of sound business. And not only our, I mean, Japanese, African, European, maybe even sounds in Australia, if you know what I mean. But if you're a younger sound, if you're trying to differentiate yourself from these sounds, and then you make it to be booked somewhere, that's a distinction, you know?
Yeah, true. Okay, do you think we will have a Gully versus Gaza moment at the clash?
Yeah, I'm sure about it, you know? I mean, both sounds can play, you know, Gaza and Gully, but I mean, we all know Ma Gash for the Gully Marathon, and it never gets boring, you know, because they always like to spice it up with something new, you know, play it a little different, and then, you know, you can have a cartel marathon from King Animosity or a supercut, as a matter of fact. Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't build the drama that much like Gaza and Gully, right?
What do you think, with which strategy will King Animosity touch on for the first time in Europe?
Well, I just hope they don't play the, you know, standard European party or festival thing, you know, because a lot of sounds from across the ocean, they like to do that the first time they touch down, you know. But I don't think Animosity would do something like this. They're a hardcore sound, so I just hope they play whatever they have best in their style, because for us, that's where we go to see a sound from different culture, different, let's say, foundation. We want to see their style. We don't want them to adapt to our style, especially that it's no random people in a clash anymore, you know. Maybe 20 years ago in a rhythm clash, that was different. Yeah, you gotta please the crowd. You had a lot of reggae fans, right, in the audience. Right now, it's just the hardcore fans, so just come and please them, you know. So I can say what the strategy is gonna be. I can say what I expect them to do.
Very nice. What do you think, like, with which strategy will Ma Gash answer?
That's a good question. I think for Ma Gash, it a lot depends on what Animosity plays, because they are much better known over Europe, right? There was a time when they clashed less, but Tenor has picked up, clashing the sound now. He played with Alex again, so we have different set of expectations towards them. So for them to be surprising, they need to be more dependent on the style of King Animosity, if you know what I mean. So Animosity can just they have the handicap. They can come and they just can play their style, but Ma Gash gotta adapt to their style. I think that's the way it goes.
That's a very interesting thought. Do you expect we hear a lot of brand new tunes or a lot of unheard dubs or their proven selections?
I think with King Animosity we can be sure to hear some new song. It's like that's one of those sounds you can bet that they're gonna voice new song and some expensive songs. By expensive, I don't mean it matters how much money is spent, but the size of the song. Like we're gonna hear some big new songs, some hype songs. I'm sure about that.
What will you say, like, if you have a clash with a venue of only 200 people, why can the vibe be different and maybe more exclusive than being in a big clash arena hall or something?
Well, it's more intimate relation with the sounds. I mean, we go back to the roots, kinda, when sound system was about being, playing the music for the people and being kind of part of the dance, if you know what I mean. I'm not that keen on big stages when it comes to, I mean, for me in general, I'm not that keen on playing on big stages. It's like 5 of us at Splendid, so when we have a festival thing or something like that, it's more Kochun playing or Margos playing, I like the hardcore vibe, which you can build only when you have the close contact with the people you play for, right? You can step into the crowd, you can interact them, you can feel their energy, and they can feel your energy. So in my opinion, it's even better for a clash, like the best clashes we had were actually, in those smaller venues. Of course, each of them has a good and bad side. We could have won some of the big clashes like in Salento when there was a couple of thousand people in front of us. It's alright, but I prefer the intimate vibe, if you know what I mean.
One last question, if you could only pick one reason why the people should not miss this clash, which reason would you say?
Well, I guess to see something new, something fresh, because Soundclash, all us, the sound heads, we listen a lot to the audios. Well, I personally had a little break for a couple of last months. I had to clear my head. I've been listening to Soundclash tapes for over 10 years, like non-stop. It was like my daily soundtrack. So, but I mean, we all know these sounds. It's hard to be anonymous in the business, but the live performance is something completely different. So even if you had seen Ma Gash, you haven't most probably seen King Animosity play live. So that's why you shouldn't miss it. You should go to the clash and see how they perform, how they build the appeal with because I mean, Soundclash thing is not about voicing dub plates only. That's your tools, one of the tools that you build your performance with, right? And your stage presence, the way you react to the events on stage are even more important in the sound clash itself, because you have different types of events. You can play dub plates, right? You can play in a regular juggling some dub plates and they're just gonna bust the dance. You don't need to introduce them the right way. Same with like dub plate showcase. That's fine, but I mean in sound clash it's a number of those small factors that that put together into a good performance. And each of us have a different. We all know Japanese is gonna act different, the African is gonna act different, but the guys from Atlanta is gonna act different than the sounds from New York, because that's for real, So I guess that's the reason why it's so interesting to see this clash,
Witness in person. Yeah, man. Thank you very much for your time.
Really big up for your works, I'm sure it's gonna work out, I wanted to say I hope, but I'm sure it's gonna work out.
Give time.
Respect.
Yeah, bless him.
Sungun, the whole place burned down. International bad man sound.